Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4 in the Revolution is Coming edition, although it's a different revolution than we expected. So we were playing the Soviet Union, trying to trigger the second civil war by not pursuing the Great Purge. But nevertheless, a series of events happened. So Germany declared war on Austria instead of the Anschluss because Austria refused. Austria in a coalition with Italy and Hungary. Secondly, Germany was warned about the Sudetenland crisis by the French and the British, and in fact invaded anyway, so they are now stuck in a war against France and the UK. And after that, the south of Germany ceased as an independent republic. So really, yeah, Germany is quickly collapsing, or Nazi Germany is quickly collapsing, I should say. Let's draw an offensive line over here to Breslau, try to capture all of this, and that should be fine. So there we go. Divisions are reorganizing. We sent a couple of volunteers, nothing too much, but at least a little bit, so that they are contributing to the war in Germany over here. So, but nevertheless, I think all in all, we will see Nazi Germany very quickly collapsing over here. You can see. People are pushing on to Leipzig, Hanover, and ultimately Berlin. So, just finished this. It's still 1938. We are researching this new gun. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. But yeah, that's going to be fine. Let's take the decryption text because they are indeed 1938. So we're not incurring too much of a penalty over there. Right, we withdraw a couple of our forces, so the Austrians now pretty much out of the war, but yeah, the Allies pushing strongly, and I think very successfully. So, I guess, you know what, we have a lot of command power. Let's take the officer staff plan here, which means our guys will be preparing much quicker, so about 10 points a day. So tomorrow we'll be able to push out our plan over here, because everyone is really at their max. They're not quite as strong as, and here we go. So this is it. Bit early in the series, but nevertheless, so here we are. Fourth International, a number of communist delegates from around the world met in Paris today for a founding conference. With the support of Trotsky's theories taking the lead, the groundwork for the Fourth International was laid. Although it's still unclear what impact these efforts of organization will have on the international political stage, the news appear to have steered Stalin's suspicions. He has suspected many high-ranking members of the party and the military secretly support Trotsky, and many of them are still alive. With his paranoia back in full force, he has grown increasingly reclusive. His distrust and instability have caused a crisis in the Soviet government. At this rate, the nation will be plunged into civil war. A violent era for our union. Here we go. So this is it. This is what should be triggering very soon the revolution, the second revolution that is. And at that point, we'll need to reload the game because, of course, we want to continue as the Whites, and I think that's going to be a very interesting case. And we are going to try to join forces with the democratic forces, but we'll have to see. Okay, I thought it would trigger now. It's going to trigger very soon, so I don't want to go too quickly over here in case we miss it, because it's going to be a huge development. You, my dear sir, should not be attacking all on your own. You, on the other hand, can well advance into here, please. And you might do so as well. There we go. Yeah, that's a much better fight. Although our guys are not even participating. There we go. You should be collapsing very soon. Okay. Nevertheless, the Fourth International really is what is triggering this. So, I think maybe it has meantime to have enough 10 days. So, but nevertheless, we will see it trigger in this autumn. So, very much looking forward to see what will happen with that. Up over here, though, what I would like to do is, okay. So, you know what? Let's place a front line. A front line over here and get you guys to be part of that, and nevertheless to draw up an attack plan as such. You know what? We can just march into Breslau, I guess. Yeah, there we go. One of our divisions has joined already. The other ones will be joining very soon. Still, one very Zoc submits to Italy. So that's Albania. Albania is now part of Italy. Italy has also extended pressure on Yugoslavia, so it's going to be interesting to see what's happening over there, but it will take a little while. Over here, a very strong German division. Again, I think it's the template number 7 that has a lot of artillery in it, so that means it's very strong in terms of the soft attack value over there. There we go, Breslau part of the Republic of Germany now. And get over here, and more importantly, we can get over here, so that will cut off all the Germans down there. And you know what, you can get there, because just push into the free areas. And I wanna, come on. Sometimes it's really hard to click on these guys. Okay, so I would like to get you and to march over there. Is that a fight that we can win? It is in fact not, so yeah, just seize your attack please and get over there. And you get into there, that's fine. You are marching to here, which I think I appreciate. You are leading attacks over there, that's alright. Yeah, being attacked over here, but I think you're gonna be alright. Yeah, just, these are really... Do we even know the division name of that? Probably not, but yeah, it's not a very strong one. Well, very soon I think we'll be facing the Civil War, and that's gonna be the big one. Attacks happening over here, but these guys are now increasingly isolated. Let's get you to march up a little bit. Yeah, and now these attacks seem to be going a little bit worse, and the Germans are in fact attacked, so the Nazi Germans, which means we can support this attack, and yeah, just continue being a little bit more aggressive over there. You are making it over here, and I would like you to keep over there. Let's briefly get rid of these borders. Because I think it's going to be a bit gory over here anyway. You can support this defense, although it's really not required. German Reich has capitulated, so there we are. Now German Republic, as part of the Allies, I believe. Yes, indeed they are over there. So that I think should mean that very soon we are getting our forces back. Do we not? German Reich was annexed, yes, and there we are, forces back and transferred to ourselves. Very interesting development I have to see. I did not expect there to be a democratic Germany, but I think it fits in nicely with the theme of our little game, that we are seeing a scenario where, you know, all nations are turning a bit more democratic than maybe what would have been expected before. Our volunteers will arrive back in October. So we might see indeed a very brutal winter war, which I wouldn't necessarily appreciate. But yeah, here we go. Let's accelerate this a little bit, just to see what's going on. Also, let's briefly look at research. It's still taking 120 days. This is so long. Yes, okay, in Leningrad. So you guys, can you all merge back into this? And can you get all back to over here, Rosnev, which is the base for our guys. I hope that this will fall into the area that we control, and this is the basis for the decisions which units we will be getting. But ultimately, I don't know. Oh, 3 military factories. Let's take that. Let's take care of that. Let's just briefly look at research. So, yeah, what else do we want to emphasize? In terms of logistics, we have a lot of infantry equipment, which I very much appreciate. A bit more support equipment would be nice. A bit more artillery. So how many factories have got? 2. So I think, yeah, a little bit more support equipment would be alright. And then what we can get is lights up a bit of artillery. You are converting, right? Oh, you don't seem to be. Interesting. You should be. Oh no, you are. Good. How much stuff have you got to convert from? Well, a little bit. How much more quickly are you producing? So you are converting at a rate of net, I guess, 1 per day. That's fine. We're getting 1 heavy tank per day, roughly. Or we'll be getting that very soon. Yeah, so I think more fighters are going to be the answer. I know fighters are not the priority, but still, they're very useful. And maybe it's going to be fun. At least now a very, very big threat has dissipated, and that's good to see. Still, you know, some of these nations are fascist, specifically Italy, I think Austria as well, really, yeah. Whoop. That I think was Special Forces technology, so down here, which is alright. Didn't give us that much, I think. Yeah, just a little bit better production. 1939, not that useful. 1937, maybe. Conversion speed bonus. Let's do so. It's within the time frame. And here we go, the permanent revolution. This is it. So, 9 o'clock in the morning on 31st of October, with November and December ahead of us. Very, very strong one. Here it is. The permanent revolution. Although countless people have been executed and imprisoned as traitors and counter-revolutionaries over the past years, leading positions have been largely safe. They have not been exempt from suspicion, however. With the creation of the Fourth International, Stalin appears possessed by the thought that those close to him were never truly on his side. Those who try to gain his trust have further fueled this idea to cast themselves in a better light. The current situation is one of exceptional irony. The distrust within the current administration has rendered it unsustainable, and a coup is now imminent. Some party members are urging that re-inviting Trotsky and turning the purges on the Stalinist could minimize the damage of the civil war that will ensue. Can this plan, which has been the General Secretary's greatest fear for years, truly be executed? Unthinkable? Or communism in one country has failed? We need Trotsky. So if you know a little bit, Trotsky, as depicted here, was a bit more of the opinion that it should always be international communism, that is, where Stalin at one point settled that, you know, the Soviet Union was not so much a preliminary construct of revolution, but was in fact a country, and a country organized under communism. So this will mean a minor civil war, but of course we are going for the massive civil war. So the one that will turn Trotsky, not return Trotsky, but will in fact produce an offspring. So here we go, unthinkable, that means a massive civil war which should start any second. Decelerate time somewhat over here and see where exactly our lovely Soviet Union will break, as we anticipated all along. You know what, I'm gonna do one last thing, and that is assign our very, very dear friend, where is he, Vaslov, to this group. And the reason for this might be evident soon. That is, this guy will be the one who's leading the revolution. He was in fact a German collaborator. I think he was captured in one of the battles and switched over to the German side and left the Abroad Army, however it was called, so the Russians fighting against the Soviet Union after they were captured by the Soviet Union. They didn't honestly largely fight on the Eastern Front, they were more occupational forces, I think specifically in the Netherlands, but and obviously the morale wasn't really high, but they were in a very difficult position as well. Nazi Germany in reality killed a lot of the prisoners of war very early on, and specifically by by putting them in camps with unsustainable fooding and such. So we are a couple of days in. Really expected to break loose now, but you can see the frost settling in on the Soviet Union. So quite a little frost over there. Insufficient resources. I think that's just a bit of rubber, and that would be needed for fully efficient manufacturing of our airplanes. So as more factories get finished, our airplanes, more airplanes are produced, they need more rubber. Very soon, very soon. I'm a bit excited to see where we go. Anti-fascist diplomacy, and very happy to see this technology being finished, because that means it will be available to us as well. I don't want to start anything too rash, because now really it feels like the Soviet Union is probably going to be the beneficiary of that, as opposed to us in our then taken over civil war rule. So you know what, we're going to finish this one because it's very quick and it's unlikely to be of major impact. Now, national focus set, I think for the Soviet Union, you know, these are valid choices, but I think all in all the anti-capitalist diplomacy now makes more sense that the fascist front has really collapsed, apart from Italy. Right, I'm excited, guys. Let's see how this turns out. The Second Russian Civil War, here we are. With Stalin's increasing paranoia, the party and military have become divided. Those who have managed to earn his trust, at least temporarily, want to keep him in power and retain the cult of personality that he has built up. But many others have been informally cut out of the loop. Some of them believe that Stalin's route has failed, others suspect that they are simply waiting for the day when the NKVD, so the Secret Service, will find or make an excuse to have them arrested. Together, they have formed a faction powerful enough to challenge the current administration. Their stated goal is to overthrow Stalin's tyranny and transition from a totalitarian state with a board of military officers overseeing the process. Stalin's supporters in the military and party have rallied to retain the current regime, calling their opponents counter-revolutionary traitors. That's what we are. A new civil war is at hand. Death to the traitors. The non-aligned supporters start a civil war. So here we go. The game needs a little while to manage that. And here we are. So this is the new situation. Russia in the south and a bit over in the west here has split off, with the new with the new capital in Stalingrad of all places, which apparently as of now they haven't renamed at least. And there they are. So a lot of things going on, as you can see. So a lot of armies being transferred and all of that. So we'll have to see a little bit about that, but it doesn't look too bad in terms of what we got. I'm not gonna assign any different orders to the Soviet Union. The only thing that I am gonna do right now before we reload the game, on the other side of course, is I'm gonna delete this guarding division against the Manchukuo, so against the Japanese over here, because I'm afraid that otherwise the AI would stick its forces over here. Oh, should also put that down there. Instead of pulling them back to the east, which is of course really what they should do. Right, so all of that has been fixed. There are no further orders. Well, I guess we can delete these things up here as well. So let's do so. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, let's delete all of these, just to make sure that the AI is entirely free to push out new things. So this is that army group. Can be removed as well. And there we go. So the split should be really equal. I'm not sure about how manpower and all of these things got distributed. It looks a bit like the infantry equipment state on our side, which I don't appreciate. But we'll have to see about that. It might mean that the Soviets now have the ability to rely on massive amounts of forces. So I would not like to see that, but maybe it's what it is. Anyway, I think this is a very nice place to put in a cut. So thank you guys for watching. I'll turn on the notifications for these things again, because maybe the AI is using that. I really don't know. So thank you guys for watching. Next time we'll see how Mr. Vaslov on the non-aligned Russian front will be doing. Thank you very much. Bye bye.